I watched Hard Knocks yesterday.
Mike McDaniels.
He's phenomenal. All right, welcome to 4th and 10 right here on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, Amazon Podcast, wherever else you're listening. Maybe you're live with us on YouTube.
Ooh. That's where we're at.
That's what we're doing.
That's the real spot.
We're live people now.
Yeah.
I mean, we are on time. Actually, we're 15 minutes late. We're supposed to be here at 9.
They don't know that though. We're like it's like a casual kind of thing. Like,
is it casual? I'll call you when I'm free.
It's like 9-ish.
Yeah, shows work.
Can't get girls to commit that way, man. Girls, listeners, can't get them to commit that way.
You think we lost all of our female audience when we
lost
show
our
up at
female
9?
audience a long time ago?
They're like, not another one.
Yeah.
Not another dude telling me, making promises and not keeping them.
We lost our female audience when we were like, hey, it's the pre-show with Nate and Dan. So, my name is Nathan Owens. You can find me on Twitter at Nate Owens Comedy, Instagram, TikTok, Nathan Owens Comedy, or NathanOwensComedy.com. David Purdue's with me.
Don't point at me aggressively like that. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Do or Die. That's at DUEORDIE. This guy's got coffee in him.
Damon's, I think he's on the high seas right now. He is just gallivanting around. But Dan Duncan's still with us.
Yo. I'm actually on Twitter these days.
Look at that.
At Dan Dunk.
Stirring the pot.
Stirring the pot.
Yeah.
Just really talking about college football.
I was about to say, like, the Georgia pot.
Yeah. Getting them riled up.
Just a pot of Georgia.
My algorithm is on point.
There we go. That's the goal.
If you need your algorithm cleaned up, talk to Dan Duncan. Those are some of the services he provides. Also, head over to patreon.com/4th and10 to join our Patreon. You get exclusive access to things like our fantasy leagues, our pre-show bonus episode that we do every single week.
I made it. I was about to be on that eliminated from the playoffs.
Oh, I know I'm eliminated. I haven't even done the math.
I'm still in.
That's your challenge. If you lose, if you're the lowest placed team,
he won't be the lowest.
You're doing the 10-mile challenge. Check the pre-show for it. But
I will. I don't think I'm going to be the worst team.
Yeah, I'm average right now.
I'm definitely below average.
Okay, no one cares.
It's not good.
Going. No one cares about your piss poor fantasy performance.
You can also jump into our Slack channel where you get exclusive access to us, other patrons, other listeners. It's a good time. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to?
Nope.
No, I want to talk.
Let's get it
about UGA, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to UGA first. Let's talk Chris Paul and Scott Foster.
It's gonna be more fun.
It's gonna be more fun. If you don't know Scott Foster, he's been an NBA official for at least 30 years.
Forever.
Forever. Yeah. As long as I can remember being an NBA fan.
Too long.
Just I guess the umbrella of this story, Chris Paul 1-13 in playoff games against Scott Foster. I say against, reffed by Scott Foster.
He's a referee.
The one win came last year, I believe.
Okay.
Like he was 0-12.
Yeah.
Until
with a tip-in. It was like a last-minute tip-in.
Yeah.
And he should have lost the game.
That.
Brutal. Recently, Scott Foster and Chris Paul exchanged words.
Yeah.
I don't know what word. I don't want to get demonetized.
He was ejected.
Chris
Paul was ejected.
And look, on paper, you can't shout that.
He said the B word. Chris Paul did to Scott Foster.
He said beef.
No, he didn't.
That's not what he said.
That's not what he said. He did not say beef. He has beef.
Try again.
This is also, I think it was like 3 or 4 preseasons ago, Scott Foster tries to eject him from a game, and Chris Paul just goes, "You can't talk to me like that. I'm a father."
He did say I'm a father.
He goes, "I'm a father. You don't talk to me," which
does not work.
Hilarious. Well, you just can't say that to an older person.
You just can't say that in general. There's no scenario in life where you can say, "I'm a father," and they go, "Let me change the way I thought about this."
My bad.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't know that. I wasn't aware that you had children.
All right, so let's go ahead and without thinking, let's just take.
We're not on Scott Foster's side. This take so far has felt very pro Scott Foster.
I know because the hammer's coming.
It's frustrating because like I wouldn't say that I'm pro Chris Paul, but that's how terrible Scott Foster is.
Pro Chris Paul because of this story.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah. What made you like Chris Paul more?
All right,
the story?
I saw a clip where it was Gilbert Arenas. After Chris Paul got ejected, there was a clip of Gilbert Arenas basically let everybody know why there's beef, because it's been beef for years.
Yeah.
Like so much so that there was a time where Chris Paul and Scott Foster were in a playoff game, and Chris Paul's team was supposed to win per Vegas, and they saw Scott Foster walk out, and then Vegas was like, he's not going to win this game. That's how real the beef is. So apparently Gilbert Arenas spilled the tea and said way back in the day, I guess Scott Foster was leaving an arena where Chris Paul was playing, and Chris Paul's son, Lil Chris, y'all remember Lil Chris?
Lil Chris
used to make the Blake Griffin face and stuff like that. Apparently Lil Chris was, I guess, in the way or something, and Scott Foster yelled for him to get the F out the way to his child. And now I get it. Now I get it. At first I was like, what could he have done? What could he done to make him so mad? Now we know. Now we know. And Chris Paul, I don't say this often, is right.
Yeah.
That's a forever beef. You yell at my child. I don't have a child. But you yell expletives at my child. Hey man, you lucky.
Those are fight words.
Like Chris Paul probably want to retire just to walk up on him and be like, "Can't do nothing about me now. Can't throw me out of life. I'm gonna punch you in the face."
Well, yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
On the before I jump on the Chris Paul side of the bandwagon, because I'm there, I do have one thing that is Scott Foster potentially has bet against the teams he's refereing.
Yeah, you could
So
say
you
allegedly.
set that aside.
I think he absolutely
There's
has.
no way he didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The point though is Scott Foster makes the highest rung of salary for a NBA referee, which is for normal people a significant amount of money, about $500,000 a year.
Pretty good money.
It's not bad.
When he has to put up with the personalities of NBA players making $20 million on a night-to-night basis, that has to be exhausting for any referee. Now, Scott Foster has taken that little bit of empathy I have and flushed it down the toilet because he is a maniac. He has decided that he wants to be part of the game, and this is always the line that gets crossed with referees when you start to know their names. They have gone too far.
Yep.
And there's a few referees or umpires that we can all name their names, and those are the worst ones.
Yeah.
Because we know their names.
We know their
We're
names.
not supposed to know your name. You're supposed to love the game,
Yeah.
referee the game,
Yeah.
go home, and be a normal person.
That's it.
You have taken what is normally a volunteer job for 99% of the world, turned it into a $500,000 check. You should just be excited that Steph Curry knows your name. And I think that was the line in this past engagement where when Steph Curry goes, "Yo, dude,
Yeah.
you kind of took it like
you're doing too much."
You two were going at each other, and you used a technical to like make your point when you were engaged with the. It wasn't like
You
a player
brought it
just
on,
barking
yeah.
at you.
Yeah.
It was you were barking at him, he was barking at you. It just needed to stop,
Yeah.
and you used a T to send him on his way.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I teed up my dad one time.
Wait, as a ref?
Yeah.
Wow.
In a
Did you
in
like
a
giggle when you
elementary.
did it?
in
No,
an
you
elementary-
did not
elementary
tee
school
up
league.
your
Did it?
own
You
father.
giggled, didn't you?
I was furious. So I used to ref in an
How old were
elementary
you?
school league. I'm early 20s.
All right.
Oh, okay. I thought he
Nate.
was 16.
Nah,
No.
it's just- I mean, he might
No,
well have been
early-
Scoop Nate.
Early 20. No, I was still swoopy bangs.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah,
like
the Bieber cut.
yeah,
Bieber cut.
real baggy
Working in a
shorts,
factory.
skate shoes.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't. I just remember like it's an elementary school church league.
Oh gosh.
I'm refereeing / coaching because we don't have a ton of volunteers, and my dad has 7 players on the court.
So you have a team and your dad has a team.
Yes, but this is the game I'm reffing. I had just coached.
Okay.
And I consistently got the worst team in the league
Fine.
to coach.
Maybe you're the worst coach in the league.
No, it was because, and my dad knew that I was the volunteer that couldn't quit. Because he's like, I drive you there. So he gave me all the problem kids.
Well, you're 21. Why don't you drive yourself there?
Because I still live at home. I lived at home till I was 26. So
There's a parallel story happening here that I'm
So-
putting together.
I'm frustrated because I have the worst team ever.
You know, you're frustrated because you live at home at 21.
That's probably-
and don't drive yourself to practice.
That might be part of it. He's got 7 players on the court, and I keep going, Dad, you got to take 2 players off. And these kids are they're in their own world.
Yeah.
And they're just having a good time, and they're just having, and I was like, get somebody off the court. I'm telling kids, like, I'm trying to, like, scoot kids off. Because this is a teaching league. We're not trying to, And then my dad just goes, they're just having fun. Give me a second. And for some reason, that set me off.
He was right.
He was absolutely right.
Yeah.
And I made a big deal about teeing him up. And
Why?
because I will say, in Scott Foster's defense, and this is the only time I will say it,
Go on.
It feels good to give somebody a T.
Oh my gosh! Everybody doesn't need power.
I get it. When you don't have a lot of power, like I didn't at 21, and Scott Foster doesn't now.
Yeah.
When you're surrounded by people that are better than you, like I was at 21, and Scott Foster is now.
Yeah.
It feels good for your small amount of power to be able to just like give a good like it bounced. I had my T ricocheted. And then you get to blow the whistle and point, and then everybody looks at you because now you're in control.
Are you?
No.
What if they don't leave?
There's carpet on this basketball court,
what if
right?
they don't leave? Were you prepared for that? Like, what if your dad just said, nah?
Oh, no, I wasn't prepared.
He didn't leave. He didn't tee him up twice.
My dad was like, you could have just stopped the game.
Stop the game.
He's like, I would have just like gone and like grabbed, and I was like, no,
I wanted to throw the tee out.
Oh, yeah.
It was not
good.
When I used to umpire, I remember I had a good friend, he used to umpire. I got him a job, and I told him, I was like, yo, in order to control the game, sometimes like you have to like tell them. So my trick was you say not another word, and then you walk away, right? Because you de-escalated. My friend, he heard that, and I never get one game. I think he threw out every coach on one team. He goes, not another word, and the guy was like, but yeah. And then another guy said, what happened? Yeah. He threw out everyone.
He drew a line in the sand and said, if you cross
and
it.
he's like this scrawny 15-year-old kid. He's a grown man. And it's just like, and he could tell he was like, you're right. He was throwing, I'm sitting here like, dog, like they're if they left, but like there was a hill. They just watched from the hill and then yelled at him from the hill. And I was just like, you gotta, take yourself out. Like, and he was so proud of himself. I'm sitting there like, you gotta walk to your car now.
It's kind of fun though.
It's not though. You look dumb.
Yes, but in the moment, there's something. It's very specific, and it's not for a long time.
No,
but there is a moment of just like,
look at me, I'm powerful.
Yes.
And then you realize you're really not.
I know. I completely at that moment. I was like, I understand. Like small town cops. That's how it felt. Like when cops get you to a traffic stop and they're like jerks to you, just jerks to me. Yeah. You're just like, oh man, I get it now.
Yeah.
This is
your moment,
right?
Yeah. I'm the big guy now.
Yeah. This is you. Like not like.
The thing about Scott Foster is like you might feel proud or whatever, but like he gets paid millions of dollars to not have to do anything. Like he's fine. You now are on everywhere, and they're like, what's wrong with that guy? And, like, you've done it enough to where, like, now you just embrace the villain role, and you look silly. It's shame on the NBA for continuing to allow him to even be – you can have your job, fine, but you should never get to referee a game with Chris Paul again.
Exactly.
No, like, throw that out. Like, that's the NBA. That's how you kind of – if I was conspiracy theorist, I would say, hey, now, you guys know what this is, and you keep allowing it. So, I mean, you must want it.
Yeah, totally.
At some point, it's like you must want it, and so it's shame on the NBA for sure.
Because one of the thing is, I don't like Chris Paul. I'll say that I'm not a fan of Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul flops a lot. Chris Paul complains a lot. In the ACC tournament, he punched Julius Hodges in the balls.
Did he punch you in the balls? Why are you holding that 20-year beef?
I'm throwing that out there.
You're mad at
your son. I just don't like the way Chris Paul plays.
Your favorite player plays the same way.
He doesn't.
He does.
So
he plays exactly the
same way. There's that aspect of it. But the thing is with Chris Paul, they blocked his trade to the Lakers. Yeah. And then Scott Foster continues. So I'm like, yes, I understand why you and Scott Foster have beef, but I want to be like, what did you do to David Stern? Like, what is your moment with David Stern? And then David Stern passed that down to Adam Silver.
Yeah, forever hate till you. Yeah,
because there's something.
He's been involved in. Did we just uncover a Chris Paul will never be successful conspiracy?
Because he talked about was it Chris Paul that his one of his kids got teased.
Yeah,
saying his dad will never win. So that hit him a way that it doesn't hit other players because he's not the only person who's had a kid tease that your dad's not a champion.
Sure.
So that means something else. Something struck a nerve.
I should be a champion.
It might have been it was like Adam Silver's kid. That's the one that bullied him. Yeah. And was like, your dad's never going to win a championship. You know how I know this?
A bald-headed kid.
That is so interesting.
This alien.
I'm not typically the conspiracy theory guy, but to your point, he has lost 12 playoff games that Scott Foster is present at.
Yeah. The fact that we know this is enough to say stop letting them, don't let him be a part of these games. Because we think it's it's determining the outcome.
Yeah.
So, stop. Just NBA, stop.
Yeah,
unless you want us to believe that it's already, you want to have the Tim Donaghy situation hanging over your head again.
Because you follow the money.
Yeah.
Vegas knows it. If Vegas knows it.
Yeah. Well, Vegas is wrong about the Georgia game, but we can hit that in a second.
Yeah.
All right, I wanted to quickly talk Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Mike McDaniel, new coach of the Dolphins. They're a fun team. They're fun to watch.
He's a fun coach.
They're fast.
He's a fun coach.
Apparently, he's just an offensive madman / genius.
As long as he's sober.
Yes.
Because when he was here in Atlanta, he was not and did not help.
No, but he was still a mad. Well, it did help. He helped take him to the Super Bowl. He just ruined.
Apparently, they forgot how to run the ball. Keep going.
So
I don't think that was on him, though.
I don't think it was.
So, apparently, Mike McDaniel,
he is sober now.
He is sober now,
which is amazing.
And he's very open about his trouble with alcohol in the past. He's now wearing massive shoes on the sidelines.
Yo,
he does not.
You might not be drinking no more, but you looking like you drunk.
Because he doesn't dress.
Shoes.
Yeah, he doesn't dress like most coaches.
No,
he's usually in like joggers that are like pulled up.
Yeah, he
like,
got the ankles out in Miami style.
He does. He's got
pretty much exclusively off-white, like hard to find off-white.
Yeah, sweatsuits. Hats.
Yeah.
He was vaping on the sideline last year.
No, he was not.
Yeah, you gotta look at the video. It's very cold, so that's what he says. But you see him like he brings his glove up and he goes.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely was vaping.
Yeah,
he definitely was vaping.
He's awesome. I am so jealous of Miami.
Yeah.
If you're a Miami fan, congratulations. If you don't appreciate him, think about how we feel with our smooth-brained silver spoon kid.
Let that man go.
Anyway. He's wearing now, which I don't recognize these shoes immediately. I wouldn't say I'm a sneakerhead, but y'all can identify.
Those are off-whites.
Off-whites,
okay. Yeah. And they're 14s, it looks like.
I don't know what size he wears. But
you can't see his heel is not touching the back of his shoe.
That is insane, bro. That's nasty work, dog. Like, you can't be out here with your
hurts.
heel out.
It sounds blisters written all over it.
Sounds like a flip flop when he walks around. You do. I love
hurt your feet.
We're all like he does.
Yeah. Sound like Lieutenant Dan. Your feet are the most important part of you.
And also, he's wearing no-show socks.
Run?
Yeah.
So it's not even like he can double
slides.
He can't wear like thick wool socks and like make up the difference.
No, those are slides at that point.
Dude, he is one of my favorite coaches, though.
Yeah.
I also, when we were like talking about these shoes, which are ridiculous. I do love like. There's a line for me where you're like, where I've respected his shoe game to this point. I'm gonna get to the story I was about to say.
Yeah.
My brain just jumped.
So good.
The shoe game he has was amazing until now.
Yeah.
And now you're trying really hard.
You're trying too hard.
Too hard. Before it was like, yo, this dude's a sneakerhead, and he is finding ways to go and find, and he can obviously afford whatever shoe he wants.
Yeah.
Why are you wearing 14? Like, why are you not buying this in your own size? Yes, it is probably 5 times the amount of money on StockX to buy the size that actually fits you.
You got it, bro.
You got it, bro.
Yeah.
That's a poor man's mentality right there.
I would say, I'll take it a step further. What's wrong with this is he's wearing big shoes wrong. He's wearing big shoes wrong. No, like, we shouldn't see your heel with the space. You stuff the front. You stuff the front.
Oh, okay.
And so it doesn't look as bad. Like, now you're like, that's some weirdo stuff, dog. Like, I've never seen nobody wear big shoes wrong. You put your heel to the back, and then you stuff the front so that it looks like you have the right shoe on.
Is there a shoe y'all have wanted so bad that even if you haven't, you've thought about getting in the wrong size?
At this age?
Just to get it?
No.
I've thought about getting, like, women's shoes that, like, would fit me.
Oh, I would definitely do that. I almost bought some Armaniers Jordan 5 because like the other day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but they have to fit.
Yeah.
They have to fit.
They have to fit.
I've thought about it a couple times.
Or even like fake off-whites or some of the like. I would never.
Yeah, I can't do that
because I would know. I would know.
Every step I take, it's like I'm trying so hard.
That's what they're saying. Characters who you are when nobody's around.
Yeah.
And then the character just won't allow it.
Have you
bought fake or
shoes that don't fit because you wanted them real bad?
I've almost done that.
Okay.
I've almost bought shoes that are too big, or I'll risk a half size small.
Interesting.
I've never actually pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I can't because it's still a decent amount of money.
Yeah, to be uncomfortable.
To be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The only time that I thought about doing it was I was actually looking at shoes this week during like Cyber Monday and stuff. And the shoes that I really want, and I know they're not going to look good on me, but the Trae Young Peachtree shoes.
How you not going to look good?
Because it's like...
Don't you have some
You just gotta rock them, dude.
Yeah, no, it's the color. It almost looks like I'm barefoot.
You literally wear what you're wearing now. Wear this outfit with that, and it works.
You're
wearing it now.
Yeah, I'm
with
just
Trae Young.
I'm saying the color of them.
Why
is
wear
not,
his shoes though? Because
look, I'm not gonna get on Trae Young tangent. The problem is, in my size, they were $2,500.
Wait,
shoot.
what?
Yeah, this is on GOAT.
Trae Young better not have no shoes worth no. Look, you ain't got that type of game. You think you are Michael Jordan?
In a size up, they were $350. Still way too much.
Wait, the Spotify Wrapped came out today. Our producer's over here looking at his Wrapped.
Boy, that's a turn for our audience.
This is live. We gotta talk about this.
Are you willing to do your Spotify?
I was done talking about Mike McDaniel's shoes. I just couldn't anymore.
Let's talk about how he met his wife, because it's
silly.
It's silly, and it's also he might be a supervillain or a superhero.
Yeah.
I haven't decided yet.
Go ahead.
So he's I forgot which team he's coaching for, but
it's like the Montana Muskrats, like some USFL.
He's at a club with some of the players. The running back
$50,000 a year. This had to be in his comeback years.
Yes, he's recovering from alcoholism at this point, probably. Anyway, he sees the running back dancing with a girl, and he decides that's what he wants.
She's a
woman.
She's
all right.
A nice lady.
A nice lady, and he goes up to the running back, and he goes, if you want to keep playing for this team, you will stop dancing with her.
Yo.
And then he starts dancing with her. And then the article basically, yada, 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 4 years later, they're married.
Yo, that's some dirty macking right there. That's insane.
It's insane because you can't do that more than once.
I can't trust him as a human being. I want to like him. Can't trust him at all.
That's it?
That plus the shoes? I don't know what he's willing to do.
I think you get
to get what he wants.
I think you get one threat like that.
That running back is working for Amazon in a warehouse somewhere right now.
He's probably one of his assistant coaches. He owes him.
That's true too.
He owes that dude.
My thing is, you have to marry her. If you call that shot...
Well, he didn't marry her?
No, he did.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm saying, like, I think this worked out in the long run. If he had done that, and then it was just like... we dated for like a couple weeks, but it's like
can't trust you.
You can't. No. But like the fact that he called his shot, and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna threaten this dude's career, and then I'm gonna marry her." We don't know who it was.
Fair, but we know he's not in the NFL.
He's not in the NFL, and he also might still be single. Which maybe that's what we need to talk about. Did he ever recover? Did the running back
we
ever
gotta find that guy?
Because Mike McDaniel's not a big dude.
No.
I would not say...
Socially awkward. But so funny.
But for somebody like him to come up to a running back, probably in really good shape.
Yeah.
And to go, like, basically back off.
Yeah, back off.
And for the guy just to, like, that's how a supervillain gets started. Maybe the running back's a supervillain.
No, I think he's a supervillain.
Did his wife see this?
How
are you still dancing? Say, hey, man, I'm your boss. Get away from my gal. And then she's like, I like that. Those weirdos can have each other. That's weird. If she saw that, it was okay with it. They deserve each other.
Power move.
That's not even power. That's
power move.
That's weakness. You should have been talking to me. What took you? Why? This man had the guts to come talk to me, and you didn't. And all you had was power to get him out the way so you could talk to him.
Okay, is she black or white?
You know she's not black. They said they were in Montana. It was a Montana. She's definitely not black.
Yeah, he was coaching the Sacramento Mountain Lions.
Two other places not black people there, so definitely not black. And listen, I'm not even gonna get on that.
It doesn't mention who the running back is.
It can't.
Like,
leave my name out of this.
Yeah,
leave my name out of this, man. I let that little nerdy coach come and move me out the way.
He flips the dynamic quite often. One of my favorite Mike McDaniel stories is when some reporter asked him, like, hey, like, how have y'all, what happened in this game that you guys had such a down offensive game? And he goes, we had like 380 yards in offense.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And she goes, well, on your season average, that's well below your season average. And he goes, well, good on us for changing like the narrative around here that our offense is that good. And you just like saw the reporter freeze up.
Oh yeah. He's good with reporters.
He's good with reporters, and I'll also say, we probably said some crazy things about him when he got hired.
And I stand by him.
Because it was the Dolphins were accused of racism.
Yeah, and then they threw this
I forget that
logic-looking dude.
And then
this racially ambiguous. Bronze
just
fella.
pull him out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And we're just like, it feels like aesthetically you did the least you had to do.
Yeah.
But turns out he's a
timing-wise, it had to be right
coach.
around the Falcons hire, too.
It was.
I'm very aware of the timeline.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, let's jump on that for 2 seconds. What do the Falcons need to do
I'm gonna break your heart. It doesn't matter. They're gonna go to the playoffs.
They are.
And Arthur Smith's gonna get a couple more years.
Arthur Smith's job is being saved by the rest of the NFC South.
Yeah, he's gonna get it. He's gonna be fine next year.
Yeah,
because this whole division sucks. The fact that Ritter came back, I don't know, we're getting homie, but he came back and won, and then they finally threw Bijan Robinson the ball.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, they don't have to do much to win this division.
Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield, Arthur Smith should send them just Christmas gifts.
He's got the money.
He should send the entire Panthers organization a watch for Christmas.
Hey, he's got the money.
He does.
A Rolex watch.
Because they are the only thing keeping him employed. That and the fact that I'm pretty sure Uncle Arthur is just in cryo sleep.
I think he's out of it.
I don't know what he's up to right now.
Yeah.
I really think they just unfreeze him for a press conference every 6 months.
In a nice suit, though. He's always got a nice suit.
Always got the nice suit.
Very
yeah,
nice
well,
suit.
the suit's pristine.
Very nice suit. It always feels like the same suit, though. Switch it up, Arthur. Switch it up. It always feels like the same, like, houndstooth-looking suit.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just a billionaire suit.
I think it's just a billionaire. I think it's a billionaire uniform.
Suit. Hey, my bad. I don't know.
Is a bad suit.
I don't know that life. But, yeah.
All right, I know Dan's itching to talk a little Bulldogs. So Georgia, #1 college football rankings, going into the SEC championship against Alabama.
I've lived this before. Yeah, keep going.
How are you? I just want to know how you're feeling. 'Cause
not good.
The target's on their back. You haven't felt good all year.
No.
3-peat's the toughest thing to do in sports.
Totally.
I don't think has it ever happened in college football?
No, it has not.
So they're going after something that's never been done before. Dan, back-to-back sweatshirt on.
Yeah.
What's going through your head, buddy?
Jalen Carter and Nakobe Dean are walking through that door, and Jalen Milroe, I think, it all is going to boil down to Jalen Milroe and how our defense holds the edge. Our defense has not been good. Georgia has not been good on the edge all season long. Any game that they've struggled is because whichever team has played us took advantage of running on the edge, running zone, split zone to the edge, and because we just don't have defensive ends this year that are ready to really be game changers. So to answer your question before I go down all the rabbit holes, I'm not feeling great about this game. It is literally the point spread of 2021.
Yeah.
It is a slightly worse situation because in 2021 at least you knew you were going to make the playoff because of the other teams in the world had like knocked themselves out of it. So you knew you were going to make the playoff regardless of the outcome. Alabama needed to win. That gave them the edge. Maybe it didn't. But we showed up flat, and they took advantage of it.
It's an Alabama with nothing to lose.
Not just nothing to lose.
No, Alabama has to win, and they have to win big to make the playoff this year.
I don't think they have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah. You don't think so?
No.
I do.
Not if
they win by 3 touchdowns, you're not leaving the only team that beat the #1 team in the country who has been ranked #1 all but 1 week this year, and you're not leaving them out of the playoff because you're gonna have a 1-loss team in.
Because they're 8 right now.
Yeah.
So they would have to jump
Texas and Oregon.
They're jumping a lot of people to get in. They would have to jump a lot of people to get in. So I don't see Alabama. I don't see their path to getting in.
No.
I will say though that game is scary because not just they have nothing to lose. They just won a game they shouldn't have won.
So in this scenario, I can't believe I'm going to go down this road right now. But in this scenario, you're telling me that for the first time in the college football playoff era, they're going to leave an SEC team out.
No. I think Georgia. I think as far as Georgia can fall if it's close, because I don't think it's gonna be a blowout.
I mean, more than likely.
Right. So I think if Georgia loses, you can't knock them out of the top. You got to keep them in the playoff.
So one loss Georgia gets in over an SEC champion Alabama in a close game.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. Georgia's been dominant all year for the most part. They have one game against a real good team on a neutral site and they lose. You're gonna kick them out of the playoff? Like that makes less sense to me.
I really want Georgia just to win. I mean, this is
breaking news.
Thank you. I want Georgia to win in this building. I've watched Georgia lose a national championship and 2 SEC championships in this building.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I love this building whenever Georgia is playing someone not named Alabama. Georgia shows up, North Carolina, Oregon, LSU. It feels like a home game when those games happen.
For sure.
These games, it literally feels like there's dead people buried below the field that are just voodooing Georgia into just terrible offensive play, turnovers, weird things that happen.
I don't want anybody to get hurt. Let me just say that right now, just in case it gets suspicious. I would be absolutely fine if Mercedes-Benz Stadium burned to the ground.
What?
That was a hard turn.
Because we're talking about like the Falcons. Like that building has brought nothing.
No, that building has done nothing bad to the Falcons. The Falcons are just a bad football team.
The last time I felt
the concerts.
The last time I felt any sort of
Atlanta United
Atlanta United's been great. Wow. I think they can do that anyway. They did that at Bobby Dodd.
About soccer.
I've yet to see the Falcons succeed away from the Georgia Dome.
What about Atlanta United?
Atlanta United succeeded at Bobby Dodd. They'll be fine wherever.
Wait. You have yet to see the Atlanta Falcons succeed away from the Georgia.
Oh, yeah. The last time I was truly happy as a Falcons fan was the last game in the Georgia.
The Falcons, mediocre football team that will scrape into the wild card.
I'm just saying.
They're in the division. They ain't gonna scrape the wild. They're in the division.
I'm just saying that building.
No, they are. They're number 1 in the division right now. That's the problem.
They're taking care of division games. Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It sucks.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go hypothetically.
Are we back on Georgia? Or are we still on Falcons?
We'll go back on Georgia. Hypothetically, Georgia loses. I don't think there's any chance Michigan loses to Iowa.
No, 0.
Especially with them cheating. Like, they're not going to lose to Iowa when they don't cheat, and they're definitely
Iowa, the betting line that's gotten popular on Iowa is do they score in the first half?
Yes.
Their line is 0.5. So if you believe that, you should lock in Iowa to score in the first half.
Yeah. Let's cause some more chaos, and let's say that Washington loses to Oregon.
Which Oregon is favored by 6 points in the game.
So now,
or 9 points in the game.
So now we have.
I like watching.
Undefeated Michigan at number 1, probably. Now the next few teams: 12-1 Georgia, 12-1 Washington, 12-0 Florida State, 12-1 Oregon.
So you think Florida State's gonna beat Louisville?
Yeah, I think Florida State's gonna beat Louisville. And then
they're down 12-1
Alabama.
to a bad Florida team with a backup quarterback.
I just don't trust Louisville.
Yeah.
Like Lamar Jackson's not walking through that door. Yeah. It's similar to Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about that. So you've got like
Louisville's had a good season up until the loss to Kentucky. They were a 1-loss ACC West champion.
Yeah, it was
some teams I don't trust.
ACC,
Louisville, I'm not seeing them.
And also, like, I'd be fine. Like, that's a game. I'd be fine.
Georgia needs FSU to lose.
Yes.
Georgia needs FSU. If, like, for your scenario to play itself out, FSU needs to lose. You need to basically keep an ACC team out.
But realistically, we could have about 8 12-1 teams with an undefeated Michigan and an 11-1 Texas. I'm all for chaos. I am all for chaos. I obviously want Georgia to win, especially against Alabama. I think it'd be a lot of fun if Washington lost to Oregon. I also really like Washington.
I like Washington.
They are so much.
Say that 3 times fast.
Well, I like Washington.
Washington.
Washington Husky.
Yeah. No, the quarterback is fun to watch.
I mean, I want Washington to win that game. For Georgia's sake,
sure,
it would be better if Oregon won. I hate Bo Nix. I hate Bo Nix so much.
Sure.
He is not the quarterback that everyone makes him out to be.
But he is successful.
He has been successful since he's gone to Oregon and since he's gone away from SEC defenses.
Yeah. I would do it too. Those are hard. I always see them. They're very good defenses. I would run too.
Okay, here is. So I did do a little.
All right.
Also, Dan sent us a picture of this.
I mean, this
Dan
is
ready.
I'm ready.
Dan was ready.
We're live. We're prepping. We're doing things different around here. If Georgia goes over 150 in running,
okay,
they win.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay.
If Georgia gets down 2 scores early, they lose.
Yeah.
Those are the two pieces, the two things to watch for that I think are the stats that will sway this thing. Georgia this year, I don't know that they've scored first in any game.
They love digging themselves out of a hole
against the worst teams.
Yeah.
And they find miraculous ways to do it.
Yeah.
Miraculous ways. Fumbling on the first, they did it to they fumbled on the very first snap against Vandy and Tech, giving them a touchdown to go ahead early. Georgia has found ways to get behind in games, and they haven't flinched, and they've, ran a train on basically everybody from that point on. And the best teams, they've shown up and just absolutely defensively played out of their minds. Offensively for sure as well, but that's been consistent for the second half of the season. Defensively against Ole Miss could not move the ball. Once they got in between the 30s, they could move the ball, but as soon as they got to the 30s, it was
shut it down.
So we will see. Jalen Milroe, I think he is going to get his. He's going to have 2 explosive plays in this game. He is going to run for 100 yards.
Can I throw one thing about him? After the game, when he threw that pass and he said, "Give me the Heisman." Hey, man, it was a good throw. Great play. If you don't shut up about that, you think you wanted a Heisman?
No, but that's why you shoot your shot.
Don't shoot that shot. That's a bad. Yo, you shouldn't get. That's the worst. That's one of the worst post-game clips I've ever heard. It's just say we won. I'm so happy.
Did his Heisman chances go up or down, though?
0.
They stayed the same.
You think they stayed exactly
the same? Which was non-existent.
He was benched at one point in time.
Yeah, dog.
I'm not going to make an argument.
Why are you
for
thinking
Heisman.
about that?
I appreciate.
Have you not seen, even in your own conference, LSU the quarter? Have you not seen what he putting up? You think y'all doing the same thing?
Video game numbers, bro.
Dog, shut up, man.
Can we just talk about LSU potentially wasting this season their one shot in the next 3 to 4 years? Because I looked at the SEC schedules after this.
Oh,
bro, if people thought that the SEC, maybe the one weakness was their out of conference plus their in conference, how many times they played, the top tier teams, it's about to be like murderer's row for every. I mean, Georgia goes to Texas, to Alabama. I went down their list of the year, but there's not a team that really has an easy path in the SEC. There's too many good teams now.
Yeah, and Oklahoma's about to become irrelevant. Oklahoma's been hanging on for dear life in the Big 12, and they're about to become absolutely irrelevant. Nate Bargatze called it. He said Oklahoma's the new Vandy.
Ooh, I don't see that happening.
I don't see Vandy happening because I've met people.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, but I've met people from Oklahoma. They're not the new Vandy. You might be the new Kentucky football.
No,
you might be dangerous a few years.
They got too much oil money, bro.
Yeah, I'm about to say they got money.
But all the oil money's going to Oklahoma State.
You think Texas A&M is gonna? What do you think they're gonna do?
I think Texas A&M.
Mike Elko.
I don't think Texas A&M will ever actually leave, but Texas A&M should be like a Conference USA team.
Ooh.
They're gonna keep getting worse.
So bitter.
The SEC is going to turn into this just massive conference that people just people already brag about just being in the door.
Yeah.
And I get that that gives you a certain amount of swagger, but at some point that's not gonna mean what it used to mean. Texas A&M fighting for last with Mississippi State is not going to be the same stakes.
Texas A&M is not going to be fighting for last with Mississippi State in the next 3 years.
Who do you see at the bottom of the SEC West?
The bottom of the SEC West, Mississippi State. I think Lane Kiffin leaves and Ole Miss will drop to the bottom. I would say Arkansas will stay at the bottom. And then I think now you're starting to fight for the middle pack bottom. So now, but again, you're talking about a Texas A&M team that if they were to go to any other conference in the next 3 years, if they were put in the Big Ten, they would chase down Michigan and Ohio State for relevancy.
Because what's going to happen
Or the
eventually?
Pac-12, which that's basically dissolving at this point in time. But
we're in a really annoying point in college football where we're going to have to go through an era of like 3 major conferences, and then it's going to break back up into little conferences.
Yeah.
We can all see it coming, and it's just so annoying to be watching it and just skip to the end. Just skip to the end where you all break back up into little conferences and we have all of our fun.
It's like supposed to be the answer to cable.
It is.
We're running back to cable.
We're running back, and
basically
eventually
doing cable again.
somebody's going to make $1 billion because they put all the streaming stuff together, and you can scroll through all the streaming shows, and then streaming will be like, we'll just start putting stuff on live. Why are we putting stuff out?
Yeah.
And then we're just going to have cable again.
All over again.
We're going to have cable again because life is...
It's a circle, man.
It's just a circle.
It's a circle.
It's just
Swami
a circle.
Nate.
Innovation is dead. Nothing new under the sun. Let's talk booing.
Let's get it.
Wow.
We talked
I'm
last
so excited.
week.
Okay, wait. I want to know, what are y'all's picks? What are y'all's picks for at least Georgia, Alabama, but and then who makes it to the playoffs?
I think the playoffs is Georgia, Washington, Michigan, and
Florida State.
I think it's going to be Florida State, but just for a little bit of fun
if that
and a little
scenario
bit of
plays
chaos.
itself out, Georgia three-peats.
You think you?
Yeah, because if Georgia wins, they're going to get an FSU team with a backup quarterback, and they will win by 4 touchdowns.
See, that's why they're going to lose, because y'all are too confident.
No.
That's going to be...
No.
I think
They're
Georgia.
going to know we have a
That we're going to run a TCU like the bandwagon
the best chance
FSU.
the best chance for Georgia to lose is Washington.
Alabama.
Would be
No.
Washington in the
only
in the
chance Georgia will win. They will three-peat if they make it into the playoff. The national championship is in 4 days.
So you only fear Alabama out of these 8 teams.
If Texas gets in, Michigan's a scary team, but I think a Washington Michigan favors like a shootout. Michigan runs the ball a ton. I think Washington could outscore Michigan in a shootout.
Okay.
So I think Washington has the game to take care of Michigan, and then Washington does not have the game to go against our Georgia secondary.
All right, let us know who you think. That's just what people say on sports.
There we go.
No, okay, what's your pick?
Washington, Florida State, Michigan, Georgia.
Georgia winning or losing the SEC?
I think they're gonna lose. I don't think they're gonna. That Tech game, I was just like, y'all supposed to be beating the brakes off these boys, and it is not looking like that.
They did eventually.
Did they?
They took a knee in the red zone to go up by 15 to win by 15 points. They fumbled their first possession of the game.
Like
they handed them a touchdown.
I have yet to see that Georgia game where they lock in and they're like, no, we are the one.
Oh, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Tennessee.
Tennessee was that was a great game. That was great. But I'm talking about complete start to finish. I've yet to see that from them, and I need to see that from a national championship that can three-peat.
Ole Miss was the closest game too.
Right. But I start to finish, I've yet to see that. It's just too hard to three-peat, man. Like it's the reason it's never been done.
I agree.
It's too hard to three-peat.
I agree. For the sake of my soul, am picking Alabama so that if I'm right here, and if I'm wrong, then I'm just jumping all over y'all because I'm about to be just the most ridiculous.
It's about to be insane.
Yeah. Also, I don't think anybody's gonna text you if like Alabama wins. Be like, Dan, you were right. Don't you feel good?
I just like being right. That's how much I like being right.
All right, we got a hard out.
Yes.
Right now, do you have 5 more minutes?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do 5 more minutes because I want to talk because we talked about booing last week. We talked about booing because we're like, who would you not boo? And that led into later in the week, Greg Popovich went on the mic
during the game,
during a free throw, and told Spurs fans, told Spurs fans to stop booing Kawhi because it's not who we are. And I love Pop. I love Pop so much.
We all love Pop.
That's one of the dumbest things.
Okay, I was about to be like,
No.
whoa, we are on different sides of this topic.
First off, if anybody deserves to be booed by Spurs fans, it's Kawhi. I am fine with you you can boo whoever you want. I think booing is absolutely fine. I think it's great.
Even in carrying stars.
Yeah, if you remember, Kawhi, the Spurs doctor said he's healthy. And he kept saying, I'm not healthy, and just sitting in the owner's box demanding a trade. That's frustrating. Am I pro-owner? No, I'm pro-player. I want players to have more power. Anyway, that's
Stop
annoying.
caveating it.
From a Spurs fan, I understand how that would make you mad. Kawhi goes and wins a ring somewhere else, and then goes and to another West Coast team. So now you see him. I think it's perfectly reasonable to boo him as a Spurs fan. I think Pop needs to realize, one, it's fun to boo. Just first and foremost, it's fun. Pop, you're supposed to be the fun guy. All right? I think so. Fun in the way that like he knows that he's like a bit of a curmudgeon, but he lets guys be guys. Like he lets personalities.
I would never call him
shine.
the fun guy, but go ahead.
I would call him fun.
You don't know fun. Fun is new to you, but go ahead.
Anyway, there's just something that would set my brain on fire as a fan of like a coach telling me that I can't boo. I would boo him immediately. I would absolutely boo.
You know why you would?
If Greg Popovich walked in this room and said you're not allowed to boo, I would boo him to his face.
You wouldn't boo him in San Antonio. You know why you wouldn't boo him in San Antonio?
Championships.
Because one, championships. Two, that stadium, did they stop booing or not?
They booed. They
Did
booed
boo?
after.
Okay, that's fine. You wouldn't boo Pop because that stadium would say, whoa, what you not gonna do?
I just wouldn't stop. I would continue the boo, and in my mind I would be like, this is also at Pop.
Yeah.
I would split the boo.
Pop is the Bill Belichick of basketball now, where
he's never been caught cheating.
Don't do this. Not now. Continue.
So I wouldn't put him in the same category as cheaters.
Don't do this. Go ahead, Dad.
He's reached his end.
You think he's in?
Where he look, I know as an athlete because I'm the absolute epitome of athlete.
For sure.
I know as an athlete when I'm like concentrated, I can't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that Greg Popovich, you're sitting there coaching your team and you're like tuned in to what these meaningless fans are doing to your opposing player? Dude.
All right.
Stop it.
New theory just popped into my head. That's the brilliance. He knows Kawhi's locked in, and he goes, I'm going to make sure Kawhi knows they're booing him.
That is kind of a crazy move that could work.
I'm going to stop the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring attention to it. I'm going to make Kawhi look around going, I'm going to break him out of his focus.
How is that not a technical? How is that not a technical? You mean to tell me
it's his house?
No, there are rules, man. Like you can't grab it. That means now you said because they didn't give him a technical. Any coach can just grab the microphone and say anything, and there's no technical now. So at any point,
it felt like they were the smallest arena of all time when he did that because
it felt very high school.
Yeah, very high school. But like, imagine in the playoffs, right? Some team is playing, and the coach is like, "Miss it!" He just grabbed the mic, and you can't get a technical from it because no one gave Pop a technical for that. Forget whether or not he can tell people to boo. Where was the technical? No, everybody just let him do it. That's insane.
So the Spurs are at the bottom of the conference right now.
Sure.
With the Grizzlies. They're statistically the worst team in the West with Wemby.
Yeah.
Is this not just like, just let Pop do it?
No.
It's steering a dead ball.
The guy was at the line. You can't just, we've never seen this. That's what's blowing my mind. We've never seen anything like this. And I think everybody was just shocked. Like, is he doing that for real? Because I'm thinking like, oh, maybe it's like a small, it was the peak. It was over everything. Especially your job is to say, rebound by such, or whatever your job is in the game, and then this coach grabs your microphone and then just says, "Hey, stop booing," and everybody just goes, "What?" It's like an airball things like it's nowhere in the rules says you can't grab the microphone and yell at the stadium. That's insane to me. Pop, I love you, dog, but that you broke new ground. If I'm a coach, I'm yelling all the time. Every time I get to the microphone, I'm yelling, "Miss it," or this. I'm yelling something at somebody because you can do that now. Shout out to Pop. Stay innovative. The most innovative coach in basketball.
Yeah.
We don't know. There's not a rule. There'll be a rule next year for that. But the rest of this year, yell in the microphone.
30 seconds. Is there anybody who could get you to stop booing? Anybody that was like, hey, stop booing this, and you would be like, absolutely, I'm sorry about that.
Ooh.
Damon.
If Damon told you to stop booing, you...
Damn, that's a good answer.
That's the first person that popped in my head. When he's like, hey, don't do that. I'd be like, all right.
That makes sense.
I'd boo even louder when he wasn't around.
I'm about to say now in his face.
Not to his face. No, in his face I'd be like, yeah, that's probably a good point. And the second he turned around, I would boo someone. I'd lose my voice booing.
Yeah. My answer is any black grandma. Any black grandma tells me to not do something, I'm not gonna do it. They've been through too much, and I'm just gonna listen.
There you go. So,
Yeah.
man, y'all didn't.
And there
know.
might be a piece of candy at the end of it. So.
Yeah, you didn't know at the end of this we were gonna put Damon and Black Grandmas in the same.
They are the
diagram.
same energy.
That's the truest thing we've said on this podcast in the last
except
hour.
one gives you candy and the other one would never. You eat your candy.
Yeah, you would take your candy.
Yeah,
You
you
would take your
your
candy,
candy.
and just be like, I earned this.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't.
Yeah, well,
Don't
you-
get it twisted, dog.
Don't get it twisted, dog.
I earned this
Yeah,
candy.
Yeah.
All right, there we go, y'all. We did it.
I'm changing my pick. Georgia wins.
Ooh, I know you couldn't do it.
Georgia
I know you
wins.
couldn't
He
do
couldn't
it.
do it.
It was like
Couldn't do
switching to the Philadelphia Eagles. I switched back. I'm a Cowboys fan.
There we go.
Hold on, wait. I want you to look in the camera and say that you were wrong about switching.
Don't do it,
from
Dan.
the Cowboys.
Dan, don't do
just
it.
Say you were. Just say.
Dak, don't
just
buy
say,
the Dak juice.
Just say my name is Dan
You
Duncan
bought-
and I was wrong.
Boo! Don't buy the Dak juice. He's been playing trash teams and looking good.
My name is Nathan Owens. You can find me on Twitter at Nathan Owens Comedy,
I
Instagram,
haven't
TikTok,
bought it.
Nathan Owens
Don't
Comedy,
worry. We're still gonna
NathanOwensComedy.com.
lose in the first round.
Yo, follow me on Instagram, Twitter at DoorDie. It's at DueOrdie or DavidPurdueComedy.com.
Hit me up on Twitter for all the sports things at Dan Dunk
Yeah.
with a C, not a K.
Here we go. Hashtag 4th and 10. See y'all next week.
Peace.
Holla. Yeah, don't buy that Dak juice. I looked at who he was playing and who he was beating. I'm like, man, he ain't beat nobody.
Gosh, I can't imagine how brutal my Spotify rap is this year. It's all going to be like sleepy time.
Did you pull it up? I hate that you have to go outside to like a website.